Long way, get this shit a long way, shit a long way, long way, hit the long way, 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 shit long way, 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 get shit a long way, gotta get the shit a long way, get the shit, gotta get the shit a long way, finish rich, gotta get the shit a long way, gotta know what she don't really understand, man. Gotta know what she don't really understand, man. Gotta get a meal, but she don't understand, man. She be tripping every day, she be tripping every way, but I gotta get this shit a long way, tryna get money every single way, tryna get money every single day, get money every single way, every day. Every day we gotta get paid, every day we gotta get paid, I'm feeling like we be a new slave, no we gotta finish rich, no we gotta finish rich, got a new bitch, she don't understand rich, she don't understand niggas gotta get rich, she don't understand sometimes we gotta hit lit, no we ain't hit lit, tryna get the long way, tryna get this shit the long way, Coach is tryna wrap up a entree, told you the other day that did my phone show, we gon' shoot the long way, we gon' get the long way, get the shit the long way, my bitch be trippin' back and forth like a phone way, my name is Tari, I ain't playing games, so I'm done Tari, yesterday she told me that she bout to leave, I said fuck it bitch, we gon' get some money, I said fuck it bitch, I'm about to get some money, so what I do today, I went and got some money, cause we gon' get this shit the long way, we gon' get shit the long way, back and forth like a pong way, man, I'ma get this shit the long way, get this shit the long way, just the only way today, because they go with shit's crazy, we gotta wear a mask, we the new slaves, and we be wearing this shit like every day, we be okay, we gon' be okay, they gon' be okay, they gon' be okay for me, so we gon' get this shit the long way, 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 we get shit the long way, cause we gon' be okay, we gon' be okay, we get the long way,
Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome. All right, let me get everything back straight here. All right, back to that microphone. Get this removed. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Savings Minus Debt. I'm your host. Coming over a little bit of cold, so you're going to have to excuse me a few times if I have to mute or, cough or whatever, right? Anyway, welcome. If you're new to the channel, thank you for joining. My name is LJ Young, and I am a 100% debt-free motivational speaker and personal finance educator. I help people become financially free by helping them mathematically see outside what I call the debt matrix. And the debt matrix is a place where slaves live. Now, there's two kinds of slaves. There's unconscious slaves and conscious slaves. Unconscious slaves cannot see negative numbers. They don't know negative numbers exist. All right, so let me give you an example, just in case if you're new to the channel and you believe you're a homeowner. All right, open up your calculator, put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance, and then hit equal. And I just want you, as you look at your calculator, I just want you to listen to my voice. The reason why you believe you're a homeowner is because you can't see negative numbers. Do you understand? All right. Now, even after me telling you this and you still don't believe the voice and your calculator, you're what's called unconscious because you don't trust mathematics. Okay. Conscious slaves were once unconscious, decided to believe the calculator, and now they're doing whatever it takes to get out of debt. Okay. That was me up till about age 40. I was what you would call a black high value slave, right? college educated, 6-figure earner, good paying job, VMware tech engineer, all the things that make 6 figures. I did all that. But then one day I woke up and realized I was missing something. I didn't know what it was. I knew I was missing something, even though I had everything that the debt matrix said I'm supposed to have to look, AKA successful. Well, what the long story short, I was in debt. I was a slave, and I didn't know I was a slave because I owned nothing in front of me. Everything in my life didn't make any mathematical sense at all. And if it doesn't make mathematical sense, it cannot make financial sense. So I found Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey basically just said, take the arithmetic that we all learned in elementary school, apply it to your finances using these baby steps, and then you'll get out of debt and be free. I'm thinking in my brain, no way it can be that easy, Dave. That means it's just mathematics. Sure is. That's it. Nothing more. So I took what Dave Ramsey showed me, and I said, wait a minute, if it's just mathematics, religion has nothing to do with it, does it? Nope, sure don't. So I stripped that out. Even in Mr. Ramsey's baby step 4, where he says, hey, when you get down to your mortgage, start putting away 15% away for retirement. But again, if you open up your calculator and put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance and hit equal, you don't have 15% of anything to put anywhere. So that's obviously wrong. So you strip that out. Hey, and when I say wrong, I'm not saying wrong. That's business. When it doesn't make mathematical sense, that means it's business. That's what that means. That's not a bad thing. Okay. I'm not saying anything negative about his philosophy or how he does it and say it's an error. No, I'm just telling you mathematically speaking. That's it. I don't care about anything else. Nothing for me when it comes to money. Nothing exists outside of mathematics to me. Nothing. Shout out to Fudman. I don't lie, bro. Every person trying to convince me to buy houses in debt. Sure is. They don't know this. Slaves don't know they're doing that. So you cannot get mad at them because this is how I look at slaves that prevents me from getting mad. When they're directly saying to you something that makes absolutely no mathematical sense, they obviously don't know what they're saying. So you just ignore it. They don't know they're saying things that make absolutely no mathematical sense. That's how you know they're slaves. Now, when I tell people what I've actually discovered, the ability to see negative numbers, I don't think you guys really know what that means. As a matter of fact, I know the majority that listen have no idea what that means. What do you mean you have the ability to see negative numbers? It decodes the whole world economy. Everything suddenly makes sense. Everything makes sense. It's like a big aha moment. But what you guys don't understand is this: when you understand what that means, the ability to see negative numbers, when you really understand what that means, you see everything now. You understand why everything is everywhere, why the pieces are here, why this does that. Everything makes sense. And the most wonderful thing about it, it was all by choice all the time. The whole time, I was preventing myself from becoming wealthy. It was me. What was I? How? By not trusting the calculator. That's it. That's simple. But then again, that's what makes it a piece of art. It's that simple. It's so simple. Slaves don't even believe it. Now, whoever came up with that, hey, bravo. You sure got this college educated slave. You got me good all the way up to age from 18. You had me all the way up to age 40. You had me. Congratulations. College educated and all. Yeah, congratulations. You got me. But then when I look at the system, it says, who got who? I got myself. It didn't get me. I got myself. When I say I have the ability to see negative numbers, you guys don't understand what that means. I know you don't. It's obvious. Everything is obvious that you don't. And you're probably thinking, what do you mean it's obvious? Trillions of dollars in car loan debt. That doesn't that seem pretty obvious? People can't see negative numbers. That seems very obvious to me. Trillions of dollars in mortgage debt. That's millions of people calling themselves homeowners. What? That's pretty obvious. They're saying things that are not mathematically true. That's obvious. They obviously can't see negative numbers. That's why they believe they're homeowners, because they can't see negative numbers. Even when I show them, do you know how many fake financial gurus there are out there that you guys can't see? There's no way you can see them. You would be shocked. I'm not saying they're doing anything illegal. Okay, I'm not saying that. I'm just I'm just saying something else that you get. Hey, it's business. If you got somebody suggesting that you get an FHA mortgage, that's business. Because if you believe it, that's your business. That's business. No mortgage in the world makes anybody a homeowner. Anybody, especially a subprime mortgage. Believe that. If no mortgage, if the best mortgage in the world doesn't make a person a homeowner, right? And you got a subprime mortgage, you know how far away from home ownership you are. You can't see. See, that's how I see debt people. You guys don't know that. You guys have no idea. And I know this sounds weird. I don't want you guys to know that. I don't want the majority to know that. That would mess up everything. I like it the way it is. I actually like it. I do. Because it's a choice. I choose to be on the right side of it now from now on. There's no going back anyway. There's actually no going back to the old one. There's no going back. Once you can see, that's it. You can't close your eyes, nor would you want to. You will see debt people walking around here every single day. And you got I'm telling you guys, financially speaking, of course, right? Just like the movie The Matrix, people are just walking in the background. You don't really pay attention to them. Those are debt people. They don't know that they're doing the things that they're doing. They don't know that. It's just like the movie. They don't know they're walking around saying things that make absolutely no mathematical sense. They don't know that. There are people out here, financial professionals, putting the equity of a house that they don't own inside of their financial portfolios and pass it along like it's a good thing. That makes no mathematical sense. What are you talking about? You can't own the equity in a house you didn't have the money to buy. That's impossible. You can't do that. Who said you can't? Oh, the bank told you that. Gotcha. Okay. That's why you think that. You guys don't really understand what this means. I know you don't. The majority, and again, I don't want the majority to know. Let's just make sure that's clear. You know what my purpose is? My purpose is to come here to train the few that's because without people knowing this knowledge, because slaves, you guys can't function by yourself. You can't. You don't even know currency don't even exist for you. You guys have no idea that none of it exists for you. None, absolutely none of it. You think he can let you run around wildly, not knowing? No, you cannot do that. That cannot happen. So there needs to be a few people that understand how it really works. That's clear. When I see that, that's crystal clear to me. That's crystal clear. Once you get out of it, you'll see the true purpose of taxes and why to follow the rules. Why? Oh, that's why tax evasion is so severe. That's why. Oh, and when you walk around now, you'll see all the debt people just doing what they do, especially when you're at work. Because the reason why you guys are, most of you that work, you work because you have to work. You're in debt. You have to. You have no choice. That's not a choice for you. You have to work. But you don't know it's because of yourself. You don't know it's because of yourself. It's that car out in the parking lot that you see sitting out front of your job window 10 hours a day. 10 hours a day. You can't even drive that car. You're looking out from the window from your office or whatever. 10 hours a day. You can't even get in it. And you still got to pay for it. You get to drive it to and from work. Most of your driving time is to and from work in your brand new car that's keeping you there. Mm. You don't know when you pull up into your employer's parking lot with a brand new car. You don't know. You're telling your employer you're guaranteed to be there another at least 84 months. Whatever you sign that car lease for, that's I guess you're going to be there that long. You did it to yourself. But again, that's important. That's all important. That's all part of the puzzle. Financing cars and phones and all that stuff. I see debt people. And when I see debt people, that means I see negative numbers. People in debt can't. The younger you get this information, the younger the younger you understand the ability to see negative numbers. When it comes to money, always have the ability to see negative numbers, always. Your whole financial world is going to change forever. It's going to change forever. I strongly suggest you get into something finance, corporate, taxes. I strongly suggest that if you got this information, I strongly suggest you get into that deep if you love it. If you love that kind of stuff. Everybody has their different areas of what they like and what they don't like. But I strongly suggest you do. You can get in there, you'll see something that the majority cannot. I promise you that. You'll start meeting other people that think like you. Because they will know that because it cannot be faked. Let's just put it that way. This cannot be faked. Okay. They people cannot fake what they don't know exists. So if they don't know that they can't see negative numbers, they don't know to try to copy something like that or whatever, right? Because I remember when I first got SavingsMinusDebt.com, right? I remember I said, man, I should get that domain. And this was few short years ago. And it was available. Something so simple was available in the whole Savings Minus Debt. It kind of blew me away for a second, right? I was like, wow, okay, cool. That's. And now that I understand negative numbers, that's why it was available because people don't look at it that way because they can't see negative numbers. That's why nobody thought of Savings Minus Debt. They really don't recognize that their savings is smaller than their debts. They don't know that. That's why it's so perfect. Because at first I was saying debt minus savings at first, right? Debt minus savings, because it's in your mind, I guess in your mind, you really know it's bigger than your savings. But when you're in the debt matrix, you try to pretend that it's not. Believing that if you have $5,000 in the bank saved, but you do know you got $100,000 of student loan debt, you have to know that your savings is smaller than your debt. But again, slaves can't see negative numbers. Shout out to AJ for the 999 super chat. What's up, LJ? Just dropping the show support. Thanks for all you do. Thank you, sir. And I'm not sure if I gave you a shout out for that $5 super chat fund man, but appreciate it. Thank you, sir. I remember talking about the topic there, but what's up, Snuggles, Salve, Eclectic? When you're able to see debt people, man, I'm telling you, you guys, you can see people like that coming a mile away. They don't know. People that can't see negative numbers, they don't know that you can see them because they don't know about negative numbers. So whenever you come across some guru or somebody on a podcast or something saying they're worth XYZ, you really don't know what that means. Okay, just because they say that, anybody can say anything. Okay, but when somebody says they're worth this, according to what? Do they see negative numbers or not? That's the first thing you got to understand. If somebody says they're worth something, you got to determine, because people that can't see negative numbers, their net worth is different than the true net worth, the mathematical net worth, right? They don't know the difference because they can't see negative numbers. So when you hear them say their net worth, well, what does that mean? Okay, what's that mean? Because say like this, let me give you an example. Say like there's a person that owns 5 houses free and clear, and he's renting them out. Okay, right? All right. And then there's another person that also owns 5 houses, but he has mortgages on all of them. Okay. And he's also renting them out. They're all renting out at the same price. Say like each house was $1,000 a piece. So they're making all the same money. But there's money difference between the person that actually owns the houses, because they just tell you guys, hey, if they just tell you, this is my net worth, this is my net worth, on paper, it'll look exactly the same, right? You're like, oh, okay, well, I guess that, no, it's not. Because the guy that owns his houses is making way more money than the guy that's paying the banks, because he doesn't own the houses. But to you guys, they say, hey, this is my net worth, this is what I own. Well, you look on paper, it looks like the same, but it's not. That's the difference between people that can see negative numbers and the people that cannot. You guys see me, I don't hardly mix business and, I say never mix business and personal debts, right? But the only real difference between the two really is taxes. That's it. It doesn't matter. The bank don't care if you believe you're a homeowner with a mortgage. The bank don't care if you believe you're a business owner with a business loan. It's the same thing, whatever. That's the only, there's no difference. You don't own nothing. You're just the manager of everything. That's it. Make sure the bills are paid. That's it. When you can't see negative numbers, you guys, you don't know that. I don't want you to know that either. And then when you get out of it, you understand time is the most valuable thing on earth. It's people in debt. You guys don't know that. You guys never, ever, ever calculate the time in your life into whatever you're trying to do. You never do that, ever. Like, you're just going to get more of it somewhere. You can always get more money, but for some reason you can't get more time. But you guys forget that because you don't own yourself. Once you own yourself, you never forget that. You don't let anybody waste it. And what people really don't understand, when you understand this, and 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 I guess when I was, I've came across a person or two when I was in a debt matrix that somebody seemed to be an asshole about their time, right? And oh man, what's up his ass? I was just 5 minutes late, blah blah blah. You talk like that because when you're in a debt matrix, that's how you look at time. But what you don't really understand is that that's how you're telling us that you value your own time. Like when you don't care and you just show up late, you tell people, "Hey, I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna start this at 11," and then you don't start it till like 11:20. You know what that just told me? How you treat your own time. You're not gonna treat my time like that. That's just like it's like irritating. But anyway, you just when you see people do that, they're just telling you how they value their own time. So if they value their own time like that, how do you think they're gonna treat your time? That's the exact same way, if not worse. You have to teach people how to, hey, no, you can't do that with my time. You can't do that, no matter what. And you know what's this is what's crazy. I'm finding a pattern. I'm finding that pattern in younger people. And I know that age ain't got nothing to do with it because it's about awareness, but I'm finding that like that's just the normal thing to do. Just show up late, think it's not a big deal. Oh, it just oh, okay, all right. That's what you think? Oh no, yeah, not here. You can call me what you want. When you see dead people walking around, just wasting their time away doing nothing. Oh no, You know what it's like to see people doing that? That's hard. That's hard to watch. That is hard to watch. Hard to watch. When you see people at jobs for 20, 30 years and they're bragging about it, they have no idea that's nothing to brag about. That you're in one place for 30 years of your life? No, that's nothing to brag about. I promise you it's not. No, it's not. And you still don't own your house? Yeah, that's nothing to brag about. They got you guys to believe it takes 30 years to pay off one house. That's unbelievable. Ain't that unbelievable? Just say it out loud to yourself. I've said it in the mirror quite a few times when I did it. Sure did. How'd they get me to believe it takes 30 years to pay off one house? I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe because all the other slaves, you were just following them. Yep. That's exactly what I was doing. Just following, not asking any questions. Part of it, hey, it's business though. It's business. It's business. It's hard seeing dead people because you guys think it has something to do with your color and where you live and what kind of job you have, what college you. It ain't got nothing to do with any of that shit. None of it. None. Zero. Do you trust mathematics or not? Yes or no? No? Then you live in the debt matrix. That's how simple it is, right there. That's how simple it is. I wish somebody would have said it to me just like that back when I was in the debt matrix. Hey, I wish somebody would have walked up to me and said, Linnell, I would say, yeah. Does anything in your financial life make any type of mathematical sense if you put it in the calculator? I would have said, nope. Then what are you doing? Linnell, that's why you think retirement is an age. What do you mean by that? The very fact that what I just said, that you think retirement's an age. It's not an age. Retirement is when you feel like, well, what are you going to do to be able to retire at the age you want to retire at? That's the question you should be asking. Not if there's going to be enough Social Security money left for you. Who cares how much money's there? That hey, whatever. If that's you, you should ask yourself, why am I thinking about that? Why don't I just create my own nest egg? I'll just do it myself. You see debt people every day thinking it has something to do with something outside themselves. The whole time looking outside themselves, don't even know, just wandering around, just like the movie. I swear to you guys, it's just like the movie. I'm excited to see the next one. I'm gonna see what they added in there so I can just look around in the real world when they're done and see what matches it. They always do say movies tell you things. That movie tells, hey man, that was a documentary. If you financed a car in 2020, you live in a debt matrix. If you financed a car in 2020, you live in a debt matrix. You understand that? When you have the ability to see negative numbers, you guys have no idea. Everything you guys do is doesn't even exist. Do you understand that? It doesn't even exist. Now, a lot of you don't have the balls to put those numbers in a calculator. I get it. I totally understand. I do. Because the majority of you don't even want to know how much debt you're in. I already know that. We can see you. If you're one of those people that have made up in your mind that you're never paying off your student loan debt or just debt is part of life, I want you to understand we can see you. You can't see us. We can see you because we can see negative numbers. Like people who financially scam, I don't care what level in finance you scam. I don't care. If you can't see negative numbers, I can see you. You can't see me. That's what when you guys cheat on your taxes and stuff, you guys don't know you can't see negative numbers. That's why you're so easy to see. It's obvious that you're cheating. It's obvious. No lawyer is going to change the laws of mathematics for you. What is the lawyer going to do for you? Change the laws of mathematics? All you got to do is believe the calculator. That's it. I really want you guys to understand what this means. Once, once, I'm telling you right now, once somebody somewhere hears that I have the ability to see negative numbers, they're going to be reaching out to me. You understand? They're going to be reaching out to me. What? Because what I'm saying to you, I've never heard in my life. I've never heard anything like this in my life ever. Nobody in my fifth, well, until I woke up, whatever, right? Nobody said, hey, man, I have the ability to see negative numbers. Nobody has ever said that to me, ever. Because I know my logical mind. If somebody would have came up to me saying that, I would have said, okay, what's that mean when he says that? Because he's saying it with such confidence. He obviously, by looking at him, looking at his energy, he obviously knows something that I can't see. That's obviously true. It's crazy though. It's actually bananas. It really is. Because again, like I said, the ones that don't even want to know how much debt you're in, you're never gonna know what I'm talking about ever. And if you're like a financial scammer, it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. That's it. It's just a matter of time. When you can see negative numbers, nobody can financially scam you ever again, ever. Do you understand? Once you can see negative numbers, nobody can ever financially scam you ever again. Do you understand? The very basis of a financial scam means it can't make any mathematical sense because it's a scam. So it can't, because it's designed to steal from you. So it can't make mathematical sense. That's how it works. You see why SMD is going to be what it's going to be? Do you understand? I never heard what I'm telling you guys. I've never heard of it, but yet I know it. If you want to be, if you want to be financially successful, hey, all you got to do is listen. You want to be the best in whatever you're trying to be in, whatever businesses that you're growing in, I can help you. I can help you have the advantage. I can. I promise you that. You're probably thinking, but well, how? By helping you see negative numbers. That's how. And you're probably thinking, well, if you're saying it out loud, I might as well do it myself. Go ahead and try. Go ahead and try to see negative numbers yourself without my help. Go try it. Try it. You don't know what you're looking for. You don't know what you're looking for, even when I say it out loud, because you can't see it. If you've been in debt all your life, it's impossible for you to ever see what I'm talking about. So you'll never know it. All you can do is just hear my voice and wonder. That's it. That's all you can do. Well, that's all you think you can do. I see dead people every day, just walking around. Just you guys look like everybody. Nobody, people in debt. There's no look for debt people. You understand that? Debt people drive expensive cars. Do you guys know? I bet you guys didn't guess that. Dead people drive Ferraris, Lamborghinis. They drive all that stuff. They ride scooters too. They live in big houses, small houses, medium houses, good neighborhoods, bad neighborhoods. You guys are everywhere. They're in everybody's neighborhood. You guys are everywhere. This economy couldn't exist without you. It couldn't exist. Thank you. For those of you at work every day, contributing to your retirement accounts, thank you. Those retirement accounts don't exist. You slaves ain't got no money. Thinking you're investing in IRAs when you got student loan debt. You can't do that. Thank you very much, slave. You can't do that. What you think you're doing with student loan debt? No, you're not. Oh, now you believe you're a homeowner with $100,000 in student loan debt? Thank you very much, slave. No, no, you're not. You're not even close. That's why you have an FHA mortgage. You know why? Because you have student loan debt, slaves. That's who they give those mortgages to. People with student loan debt. Yeah, I know that shocks you. You guys with FHA mortgages with student loan debt. That's why you have an FHA mortgage, because you have student loan debt, slave. You don't know that. You know how far away of a homeowner you are? You're nowhere near a homeowner. You're nowhere near a homeowner. Hold on for a second. Thank you, Slave. Yes, they are. They are know-it-alls. Believe it or not, that's important too. The information, the information that they share with you guys, that's important. Okay, all that's important. I know it sounds weird. Are they? Well, they're not spreading false information. They're not. People that when they offer you FHA mortgage, I don't want you to think that's illegal or something bad or no. That's just for people that don't know. You guys go in their offices, crossing your fingers, hoping for the debt. You go and sign up for 30-year subprime mortgages and cross your fingers, go home and pray for that call to say you were approved to go $400,000 in debt. Then you guys get on social media and look, hey, look what I got. Then you guys showing a paper key. That's exactly what it is. It's paper. None of that's real. None of that. None of it. You're not a homeowner. I know you're standing in front of the house and smiling with your kids, and you're not a homeowner. Without you, there could be no money. You are the mortgage. The mortgage couldn't exist without you, slaves. Congratulations. So when I'm on social media and I'm looking and they're smiling, I'm like, they have no idea why are you even smiling? They don't know that. Look at me. I'm $400,000 more in debt on top of my student loans now. Because imagine somebody getting a $400,000 house and they have $100,000 in student loan debt. They just put themselves in $500,000 worth of debt, and they get up on social media smiling like, "Look at us! Look, we're homeowners!" Oh my God, smiling. You know what I do? I just clap my hands to the bank. I'll be like, "Hey, I don't know how you guys did it. Congratulations, congratulations." And I remember one time, I remember when I was working, right? And I was still in the debt matrix. And I remember because there was a couple of coworkers that had purchased some homes near the job, and they were bragging about how short their commute was. And I was like, oh man, that would be nice to have a 5-minute commute instead of a 20 to 30-minute commute, right? And I would have to avoid all the traffic. I was thinking this in my head. So I was thinking, man, so if I got a place, it's so stupid when I think about it right now, right? And I was thinking, man, if I got a place close to my job, it'd be a 5-minute commute. And I remember something in the back of my, which is my conscience, obviously now that I understand. And I was thinking, man, I would get a 30-year loan, of course. That's the standard or whatever. That's what you believe, right? And I thought to myself at that time, I said, man, am I saying if I buy this house near my job, am I saying that I'm going to be working at this job for the next 30 years? That's what I said. That's what it said in my mind. Thank God I didn't end up trying to buy this place, man. Oh man, thank God I didn't do that, right? But I remember saying it to myself, am I saying by buying this house, because I'm buying it for the purpose of being close to work. So am I really saying that I'm going to be working here for the next 30 years of my life? That's what ran through my brain. And I know the answer was no. I was like, I don't really plan on going in and out of that same building for the next 30 years of my life. No, mm-mm. Ain't doing none of that. None of that, right? Thank God I didn't do that because that's exactly what I would have been saying to myself. Plus 3 to 400,000. Go get a house, go 300, 400. Of course, I am going nowhere anytime soon with $400,000 worth of debt over my head. Oh my God. That just, when I think about that now, that sounds like financial suicide. I ain't gonna lie to you guys, to even the thought of signing up to get a mortgage, that scares the living shit out of me. I just can't see myself in that much debt to the bank, man. I just can't do it. I cannot do it. I cannot. I would have to have a specific plan. I mean, I have to do maybe something because of my age. I'm not sure yet, but the thought of that, of being in that much debt owed to the bank, oh, I just can't, man. Just the thought of it, thinking about it now, kind of it just sends this chill throughout my body, man. Oh man. Every time I get up and move, I gotta notify them, hey, this is my new address. You can find me. I don't feel like doing all that. I don't feel like doing all that. Kenneth Cole says, I just got my email from my community college saying my associate's degree in computer science will be completely free, no debt at all. Wow. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That's huge right there. That is huge. That is huge. Huge. Man, I see dead people. You better believe I made that a shirt. That is most definitely on a shirt already. You can get that now if you want. To know this and share this with you guys, man. Hey, when it is what it is what it is. The ability to see negative numbers, aka I see debt people. Since they can't see negative numbers, we can see them in plain sight. None of this is hidden. None of it. None of it. That's what makes it so amazing. None of it's hidden. None of it's hidden. Choice the whole time is up to you. It was up to me. It was up to me the whole time. But since there are millions of unconscious slaves yapping the same thing every single day, pounding the shit in your head, you automatically just assume, hey, if this is what everybody does, that's how it's done. Okay, well, if you think that, if you think like if they're unconscious slaves in their personal lives, if they're unconscious slaves in their personal lives, what do you think they're going to be doing in business? The exact same thing. You think if their personal finances are a wreck, you think their business finances are going to be somehow better? No, they're not. They're going to be the exact same thing. You think they're going to treat their personal finances, their business finances better than their personal finances? No. You think the bank don't know that? You know, when slaves come in and get business loans, the first thing they're going to look is their personal credit report to see how they treat their personal finances. And then they're going to treat them accordingly. You come in looking for a business loan with student loans older than your children, they're going to treat you accordingly because you obviously don't know. Because if you treat your own money like that, how you think you're going to treat their money? Even worse. Because you guys have this attitude like, whatever, it's other people's money. You guys all say the same thing. You guys have no idea that you have no choice but to use other people's money because you have no money. You have no choice. But yet you guys talk about other people's money, other people's money. You have no choice. When you have no money, you have to use other people's money, aka the bank's money. You have to. You have no choice. You can't buy a house without their help. You can't buy a business without their help. You can't even buy a fucking car without their help. Of course you need their money. You guys are the only ones that don't know that. You. Why? Because you can't see negative numbers. I keep telling you. Why I've been blessed with this gift, I have no idea. But it is a superpower, most definitely. Most definitely. Not many people know this. Not many people can see negative numbers. Not many. Not many. Yeah, it is. But you got to remember, slaves don't know they're slaves. I see that people. I'm a cop. That shirt to wear on the plane, and they fly to. What you say? I'm a cop. That shirt. Oh, okay. He's gonna get that shirt to wear on the plane and fly to Dallas next month. Okay, cool. I'm excited. Please let me know. I mean, those of you guys that buy the shirts, when something happens out, I want you guys to come back and tell us what happened because I still ain't had nobody say anything yet. I'm looking forward to it, but are people actually saving when they refinance on their mortgage? No, not at all. If you're financing anything, you're not saving any money. See, when they refinance, this is what unconscious slaves don't know. When they refinance to get a better interest rate, they're not doing anything. What are you refinancing negative dollars? What are you doing? Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. They're refinancing negative dollars. They really believe the equity is. They really believe they own the equity in a house that they didn't have the money to buy in the first place. They're starting the clock every time they refinance. They're starting the 30-year clock over every single time, thinking they're getting a better rate. You're not getting a better anything. Exactly what I was trying to tell a coworker that well, she's not gonna. Your coworker's not gonna hear. You know why? Because during the refinance, this is what entices them. They're able to pull money out. The true purpose of refinancing a house that slaves are really doing. They're doing it to pull out the money. They're doing whatever it takes to get some of that money. That's all they're thinking about. Oh, I'm saving on interest rate. That's just whatever you think you're doing, but whatever. The real reason is so because they know they're going to pull out money. They already know their financial situation. Like if they're put it this way, if they're it's just it's bad, man. Uh, because the banks see the credit reports that they own them, right? Of course. So if you're going to ask for a refinance a house, they already know why you're trying to do it. You're desperate. You're going to do anything and everything to save the house so your life doesn't change. Instead of reduce your lifestyle, you're going to do anything to keep it the same. And guess what you're going to do? Refinance the house, pull some money out, and give the money right back to them at a higher interest rate. They're getting like double the money, double it. Because what you're going to do is take out the money, pay your bills with the borrowed money. You'll start making your mortgage payment with the line of credit. And they're getting not only are they getting interest money off the interest that you're borrowing from them, that you're paying in with the when you make the oh my goodness, it's just. I bet you can't even the amount at the rate they make money. I guarantee you couldn't even see the numbers. It would just look like a zero the whole time the numbers are flipping. They would just probably all just look like blurs. I bet you that national debt clock ain't got nothing on the clock that at the rate they must make money. Yeah, there's the you can choose whatever shirt you want. You can go there. There's the link, and you can pick and choose the size you want, everything. It's all up there. I want you guys to understand what it means to be part of the SMD family. This is what it is. We have the ability to see negative numbers. That's what it really is. I thought the basic calculator was going to be like, okay, you just don't believe in the calculator. No, it was one more level. The ability to see negative numbers. That's what it is. That's the answer. That's the obvious answer. Decodes the whole economy. Oh, that's why everything does that stuff and it does over there, and you got to pay taxes and blah giddy blah blah blah. That this is why the government set up. Oh, got it. A lot of it's psychological though. This is more of the psychological part. Because if you can't see it, that's got to be psychological, right? If you can't see it, if you can't see something that's right in your face, that okay, obviously that's psychological. Like for example, if you saw me put on the calculator 1 + 1 = 2, and you showed that, and I said no, it doesn't. It equals 3. You would swear it was something psychologically wrong with me, right? Because it is 2. And I kept saying, nah, man, it's 5. 1 + 1 = 5. You wouldn't argue with him. You'd be like, okay, clearly something's wrong with him psychologically, right? That's what you would say. That's the same thing. When you can't see negative numbers, something's clear. It's clearly psychological because I'm showing you. Excuse me. And so when I think about that, right? Somebody came up with that. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? Somebody came up with that. First, we're going to start psychologically, and then we're going to start physically. Or was it vice versa? I don't know. Who knows which one came first? Because the majority of it's psychological. Now, if there's a particular name for this type of psychology, I would love to find out what that is. Okay, how you make them see something that physically exists, like a calculator, but make them still not believe it. How do you do that? Wait a minute. You mean to tell me that make them not believe something that they're looking at with their own eyeballs? Yeah, how you do that? That's what I want to know. Even if they're looking at it, even if they put the numbers in the calculator themselves and hit equal and make them still not to believe the answer when they hit equal. How you do that? Okay, I'll work. Somebody said, okay, I'll work on it. The average person would have said, oh, that's impossible. How you gonna make somebody not believe something that they're looking at? How you do that? I'm working on it right now. I'll get back to you. And then somebody came up with a drawing. Here's the answer. Now I'm just making that up. I'm just trying to picture it. $300 per room. Look at them. They're getting all that money back. You better believe these hotels are gonna make up all that money. You think they just taking a loss? Mm-mm, no, slaves. You guys are gonna do it, and you guys are gonna pay it. Mm. Sometimes, man, when I'm talking to you guys about this stuff, man, I always picture, I always end up picturing myself back in the debt matrix. Just, just the stupid stuff that I did in front of people out in public. I can only imagine the type of financial advice I probably given to friends. Oh my God. Because let me tell you something. Anybody, I want you to, and listen to me closely. Anybody with student loan debt giving you financial advice, you are getting the wrong financial advice. Anybody in student loan debt talking about compound interest, let me tell you something. They're talking about negative compound interest, slave. They're not talking about positive compound interest. Those people are talking about negative compound interest, okay? That's the wrong compound interest. So if you come across anybody trying to give you financial advice, the first question you need to ask them, do you got student loan debt? If they say yes, you better not take financial advice from them because they're talking in negative form. You can't own a house, business, retirement fund if your student loans are older than everything in your life. That's impossible. You're right. A lie told often enough becomes the truth. When you step out of the debt matrix and then you read stuff like this, you're like, God damn, that is true. Okay, you're a homeowner with a mortgage. You're a homeowner with a 30-year mortgage. You're a homeowner with a 30-year mortgage. You're a homeowner, and it just repeats and repeats. And then the slaves start repeating amongst themselves, and then voila, they believe the homeowners. Just like that. Bam. None of that is mathematically true. None of it. And when you hear me say, if you have student loan debt, you probably have a FHA mortgage. If it's true, instead of getting mad, you should say, how does he know that? How does he know that? And I'm here to tell you because you guys can't see negative numbers. If you could see negative numbers, you would know you can't buy a house with student loan debt. You would know that. And as long as you don't, and when you don't know that, if you can't see negative numbers, you don't own yourself. In order for you to own yourself, you must know how to see negative numbers. If you can't, you can't own yourself because you don't know how. You don't know how to own yourself. And if you don't own yourself, you don't know time is the most valuable thing on earth. It's time. You can't get more of it. You're gonna be dead one day. So that by default, that's time. But if you don't own yourself, you don't know that. So you never calculate time in anything you do. Anything you do, you don't calculate time. And when you don't know that, guess what else you don't do? You don't take care of yourself. Oh man, I ain't got time to work out. I ain't got time to eat better. Oh, really? Oh, that's because you don't own your time. That's why you think like that. No, and when you don't have time, you don't have time to stop and think, wait a minute. Our bodies require us to sleep. That's a require. Do you know why we have to go to sleep? I don't know, but I know I have to. That's all I know. I know I have to sleep. And when the slaves tell you no sleep, don't. What do you think that's doing? If your body has to put you into a semi coma, meaning unconscious, to do something, whatever it has to do, that seems pretty important to me. I mean, your body has to shut down your brain to do whatever it needs to do To me, that sounds like, okay, it needs more to do something, whatever it's doing at night, it must need some more energy. And not even the activity of my brain can be involved. So imagine if you're working hours upon hours over years and years and years and years and years of not getting sleep. Because sometimes, and this happened to me about once, I say about once a month. Okay. So you guys can get an idea of what I mean. About once, maybe twice a month, I would come home from work, lay down in my bed, clothes on and everything, and not wake up to the next day till it's time to go to work the next day. I didn't get up to eat. I mean, unless I had to go to the bathroom really, really bad, that's the only time I got up and used the bathroom. But I was out. Those days, for some reason, that day, I had no control. That means my body said, I don't care what you doing right now. I'm down to the last of whatever it is because it made me pass out and not wake up to the next day. I did that at least twice a month. What's that mean? Do you know since I quit my job, that's never happened to me again, ever? Never. I never come home that tired, ever. Slaves make it seem like, and I'm telling you, because they don't value their time. Slaves make it seem like if you're sleeping, you're a loser. That's not true. That's not true. You better believe the majority of them are jealous. If you can get a full 8 hours of sleep comfortably, not stressed or anything, you have no idea what kind of sleep you'll get. Because when you're not in debt, there's no stress. So you sleep like a baby. You don't go to sleep worried about anything. You don't wake up worried about anything because there's nothing there. But when you don't own your time, you can't sleep like that because you're owned. You can't see negative numbers. You're making car payments, phone payments, furniture payments, TV payments, mortgage payments, rent payments, whatever payments. Totally up to you. You sleep like a baby. I love sleeping. Love it. Sleep is for suckers and all this other stuff, man. All of that is not true. The majority of people that are talking like that, they wish they could sleep that peacefully for that long without being bothered. Believe that. I listen to my body now. I listen to it. I don't just ignore it or take some pills to make it shut up. It's telling me something. Every time something's happening, it's telling me something. And when I would come home and crash like that and wake up the next day, so like, excuse me, I keep doing that in the mic. I apologize for that. But I remember I would come home from work, crash on the bed, and then when I would wake up the next morning for work, it was like I was totally not there the whole time. Like my body said, I'm shutting down everything, because I need to obviously do something. You're not even getting any energy to eat. Love my sleep, man. If our lie is only printed often enough, it becomes quasi truth. And if it's such a truth is repeated often enough, it becomes an article of belief, a dogma, and men will die for it. Yep. Sup, lessons? Here's a quote from the book of the Crown of Life written in 1869. Oh, that. Okay, gotcha. Love my sleep. When you see dead people, man, You know, at first it's going to be very hard because it's going to be your loved ones. It's going to be people you care about. It's going to be your best friend. It's going to be your long, because they, even with the years of friendship, it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter if you see debt people and they're in debt and they don't know they're in debt. You're going to have to watch them do what they do. You're going to see them get older and still be doing the same thing, still in the same debt, still making mortgage payments 30, 40 years later, still calling themselves homeowners the whole time while they refinance their house about 5, 6 times, still calling themselves a homeowner, paying on their house the whole time they've been at the job, not realizing the house is the one keeping them at the job for so long. They don't even know that. You have to watch them do what they do. You can walk up to them and say, "Hey, man, aren't you going to be making less in retirement when you retire? Isn't that you're barely making it now, and then you're talking about retirement soon? Don't you know you're going to be making less in retirement? That means it's going to be harder if you're struggling today." You think they'll hear you? They won't even hear you. Won't even hear you, because you know why? The majority of them think retirement's an age. They really believe that they cannot retire until age whatever the computer says they can retire. Here, let me Google the age of retirement. Then Google pops back with an answer, and then they believe it. Oh, okay, that's what Google says. All right. You can't look at them and say, "Hey, why you believe in Google?" Don't you wish you could? I wish I could look at a slave and say, "Why are you believing Google? Aren't you an individual? Who's Google anyway? Who's in there? Computers? A whole bunch of people just like you typing the exact same question. That's why Google's giving it back to you. Google just responds and says, "Hey, this is what all the slaves keep asking. This is the question they keep asking me here." And they all keep saying it's this age. And then collectively, you guys say it together, and then you guys just believe it. Retirement's not an age. So anybody you hear walking around, those are dead people that believe retirement's an age. When they talk about, "Hey man, I got 5 more years of work." No, you don't have to have 5 more years of work. And then you see those ones that brag about having get another job while they're in retirement. Then they brag about they're getting a paycheck and the retirement check. Well, then what's the purpose of retiring for then? I don't get it. If you still want to work, they don't know that. That's important. Everything I'm telling you, what they do, that's all important. You just got to watch them do what they do. Without them, the economy couldn't exist without slaves. They have to believe everything they see is real money, gold, silver, cryptocurrency, retirement accounts, IRAs, the one that's tax free, the one that's not tax free. They got to believe all that shit. They don't know the true reason. The true reason is because they don't have no money. That's why they think they need it. We need all that. Isn't that brilliant? You can't save money on taxes when you're in debt. You can't do. They don't even know that. They really believe they be writing off taxes on their home, the interest on the home, student loan write off. They really believe they're writing off something. When I see that, and when I think about myself believing the exact same thing, I believed all that. I think about it now. It's funny as fuck. It's funny. Wait a minute, I can't do any of that if I'm in debt. You sure can't. Why do you know? Because I didn't believe the calculator. I couldn't see negative numbers. Once you can see negative numbers, you see money is positive and negative. If there's a positive dollar, there's a negative dollar. If you have $100 bill in your hand, that's a positive $100 bill in your hand. Well, that's what you think because it's physical, right? But always remember, there's a negative $100 too. That's very real too. They just don't make a paper bill for it. Like if they actually made paper bills for one for a positive 20 and one for a negative 20, you guys would catch on. You'd be like, whoa, wait a minute. I got a whole bunch of these red ones instead of these green ones. Because if it put it this way, if there was bills, if they made red bills, say like it was the exact same money, but it was a red bill, you guys would know if you had a whole bunch of red bills, right? Right. And you said, hey, I want to go buy that $400,000 house. And then you come to the bank with all these red bills, these negative, you brought to the bank negative $400 in red bills. They'd be like, what are you here for? You said, I want to buy that house. You can't buy a house with negative red bills. You only could buy a house with green positive red bills. You guys will catch on, but that can't happen. That cannot happen. And then all of you guys would have a whole bunch of red bills in your house. It'd be running out the windows, out your car. You guys wouldn't have no place to put all these red bills. You couldn't even give these red bills away, so you would have to do something with them. But then everybody would know who you are. Because nobody would be trying to steal it. Nobody be trying to take them. Nobody be trying to. They'd be like, I just got too many of them. I don't want them. Do you want them? No. Mhm. Sometimes I be cracking myself up sometimes, man. But again, I don't I don't want that. I like the way the system is. I do. I like it. The psychological part of it is absolutely hands down amazing. Not let them see negative numbers. That's all it took. Bam, that's it. How you do that? Just never talk about it. What do you mean? They showed us all in grade school, in elementary school. I know that, but we haven't talked about it since. We start talking about algebra and calculus and all this other stuff, but what about the negative side of things? Nah, we don't even worry about that. Don't worry about that. You gotta love it, man. You gotta love it. Gotta love it. I swear, man, it make you feel like Superman. Superman. I can't get enough of it, man. I just cannot get enough of it. I swear. Every day it seemed like something new. Every time something else comes into focus. Oh crap, I didn't see that. Though it has to come slow though. It does have to come slow. And it's again, it's always there, just out of focus. It's just out of focus. Absolute value is what I think of when you explain it to people. Absolute value counts plus and minus value. Exactly. Absolute value. Absolute value is the only thing. The value is the more of the psychological part. It's value to who deems it value. You know what I'm saying? Math is absolute. Math says, here, I'm gonna tell you the numbers. I'll tell you right now if it has value. Nope, we're in the negative. It don't have value of anything. You get what It's like when you guys can't see negative numbers, and then you guys marry each other. First, you're out there, you're listening to different people, who you should marry, who you should who you should marry, who you shouldn't. They got to look like this. They got to drive this type of car. They got to. That's what you guys believe in. Math says 1 + 1 = 2. I don't care what you drive. 2 + 2 = 4. I don't care if you're black. It equals 2 + 2 = 4. 1 + 2 = 3. I don't care if you're white. That's what math says. Math says, why you tell math will say, why are you telling me your color? I don't get it. Math ain't got nothing to do with any of that. Nothing. Nothing. The sooner you realize this and understand this, then you can turn around and come back and do whatever you want to do with the real money. You want to come back and get involved in something, come on back. But if you want to do it, you got to do it according to the rules. Rule number 1, you must be able to see negative numbers. That's rule number 1. AKA, you must trust the calculator. That's rule number 1. If you don't trust the calculator, you might as well just stop right there. Stop. Sorry, let this thing pass. Rule number 1, you must trust the calculator. That's rule number 1. Really, in my book, the rule number 1 is you must be able to see negative numbers. That's rule number 1. Like, put it this way. The psychological part is you must be able to see negative numbers. The physical part is you must trust the calculator. That's the difference between the physical and the psychological. Psychological, you must see negative numbers. You must be able to see them. Physical, you must trust the calculator. Once you do that, just like the movie, you're going to see dead people just walking around everywhere, just saying random stuff. You're going to see them. Some of them going to look like they're successful. You're going to see some driving nice cars, living in the neighborhoods, going on vacation. You're going to see them all over your social media looking like they're doing what people with money do. But they're not going to know that they're slaves. They don't know that. They don't know that. And that's important. It's important for you guys to think that people with money look like a certain something. It's important for you to believe that people with money have this type of house, they drive these kind of cars, they wear these kind of clothes, and they go these places on vacation. You guys need to believe that. Because as long as you believe it, you're going to put yourself deeper and deeper in debt trying to achieve it. That's all part of the plan. That's how it works. That's how it works. Again, why I've been chosen to experience this gift, I have no idea. I have no idea. One thing I do know is that I had to be prepared to accept this gift. It wasn't fully given to me till just last month, the end of last month. I had to be prepared to receive this gift. I have to respect it. Because you know how easy with this knowledge, you know how easy it would be for me to do slaves dirty, really dirty. I mean, some of the things I see now, I just be like, wow, that's like borderline legal. I mean, if it's legal, it's legal. I don't really care. Okay. Once you see it, that's it. Every one of them are going to have a negative number above their head. Yeah. If they made, like I said earlier, if they made negative dollars, that would be very bad. That's what makes it psychological because there are no negative dollars. There's only green positive dollars. That's what makes it so wonderful. Like I was saying earlier, why have I been given this gift? I don't know yet, but I know I had to be prepared for it. I had to be able to respect it. So I wouldn't do things negative with it. Because you can easily do that. Legally too. I mean, I don't know if that makes sense, but let's put it this way. There's certain legal things that like me personally, I couldn't sell somebody an FHA mortgage. I couldn't be a realtor and say, hey, you should get an FHA mortgage. I couldn't do that. Now, I'm not saying that it's illegal. I'm just saying an FHA mortgage doesn't make mathematical sense. That's what I'm saying. And if it doesn't make mathematical sense, it cannot make financial sense. It can't. And the only reason why I can see that is because I can see negative numbers. But first, the psychological part is this. First, you got to realize you can't be a homeowner with a mortgage. That's the psychological part. First, you got to realize that nobody can be a homeowner with a mortgage. You got to really look in the mirror and really understand that's impossible. But until you know that you got to get over the psychological part first. If you don't get over the psychological part first, you'll never know that. You can't buy a car. You can't buy a car with a loan. You can't. The reason why the psychological part is this: the to just say the reason why I can't buy the car is because I have no money. Once you realize that and get over the psychological part of that, that's the only reason you don't. That's the only way you will ever know. Exactly. Even the green dollars are negative. But what I'm saying is that if they had physical red dollars, that would be bad. Like the money you see, like when you guys see money in movies, like somebody's robbing a casino and they got pallet boards of green dollars. Those are movies. They don't need that much money, you guys. They don't need that because you guys are in debt. You don't. They don't need to print that much money because it's all in digital format anyway. You guys don't really ever going to see that much cash. That's just the movies. What they really need to be depicting is a whole stack of red dollar bills, which would represent the debt that they owe. And like, that's the amount of money that you owe them inside the safes. Now, if they changed all that to red, I'd believe it. If they changed the money from green to red, I'd be like, oh, okay, they really have that in the safes. Okay, they really do. Yeah, they do. I believe it. That would be hilarious. But one thing I do notice, I notice the, the more that comes to me, the less people believe it. That's what's so crazy. It's like the knowledge is getting bigger, but the people that see it is getting smaller. Well, that's what it seems like to me, at least. I don't know. I think it's weird. I see that people. That shit is real too, man. It's real. It's real. How much you guys are getting fooled by people's stuff, man. It's just so bad. It's so bad, man. I could barely go on social media, man. I could barely do that because you guys have no idea how many slaves are tricking you guys. They're just like you. They just got bigger payments. Like if you go on a wait 1 second here. Gotta blow my nose for a quick second. Hold on. If you guys, you go on these sites, especially on like YouTube, man, and these people are showing you all these cars in there, right? And their houses and stuff like that. They're just like you. They just got bigger payments, you guys. They're no different than you. They just have bigger payments because they finance the more expensive car than you. That's all. That's the only difference between you and them. The bank owns it all. Half the stuff you guys see on people's channels, that's all the bank stuff. Stuff that the bank don't even care about. They don't care about exotic cars. You guys think they're exotic. You believe Ferrari when they said their car cost that much. You did that. It doesn't cost that much for Ferrari to make one car. That's not true. LJ, you sound like you've been under that good AC too long. Right. I know. Yeah, you can hear it in my voice for sure. It's getting better though. I'm getting better. The scales have fallen from eyes, LJ. Notice the light is blinding. It is. It's blinding. It is. It really is. When you end up seeing negative numbers, man, everything all the pieces come together. Okay, I'll try that. Get you some honey, lemon, ginger, and super hot jacket. My drinking, you will be all the way back. You could thank me later. Get you some honey, lemon, ginger, and super hot, and some Jack if you. You are developing 2020 vision, and that's what it feels like. Because once you see negative numbers, it's almost like everything everything gets decoded. You start to slowly, and thank God the pieces come into view slowly because you guys gotta. It has to come in slowly. Let's just put it that way. It has to, because if it comes too fast, it's probably gonna. If you ain't got a strong mind, it's gonna probably bother you. Especially the older you are. If you wake up later in life, like if you woke up at my age, uh, and you have, you have 150,000 dollars of student loan debt plus other debt, credit card, and all this other stuff, right? And you wake up at my age, you're going to you're going to have a strong mind. Okay, you're going to have a strong mind to accept the fact that you've been doing it wrong for so long. And you're going to have to think about, and it really matters how much student loan debt you got. That's going to be the worst debt, right? The other debts, if you wake up and you ain't got no student loan debt and you wake up at 50, at least you can legally go get an attorney, file Chapter 7 bankruptcy, and get out of it instantly, right? But if you wake up at 50 with student loan debt that you've had since 20, that's going to be a very, very hard pill to swallow. Because you're going to realize that there's nothing you can do. The only way you can get out of student loan debt, you have to work and pay it off. Right? Or say like this, say like you wake up at 50 and you've been working at a place for 20, 30 years, putting away money in retirement. And say like you had $300,000 in retirement gross, okay? And that's without it being taxes taken out, because there's taxes coming out of that. 300,000, right? And then you find out, I mean, after all these years, your total student loan debt is almost at 200,000, or is it at 200,000? Say it's there. You're going to add those. You wake up, you add those numbers together. You're going to say, I only have $100,000 minus taxes for retirement. That kind of pill will be very difficult to swallow. You're going to come up with one or two decisions that you're just going to say, you know what, I'm going to live with this student loan debt for the rest of my life until I'm dead, which many of you will. And just pretend like it's not there. You're just going to be taking payments for the rest of your life, paying towards the student loan debt, which they really want you to do. They do want you to pay for student loan debt for the rest of your life. They make way more money than the original principal. They get paid your entire life. There is no better investment than that. Give you a certain amount of money in your 20s, and then you pay it back for the rest of your life. There is no better investment than that. And it's still like I'm the student loan lender or whatever, right? It's still like it's a person, okay? And if you wanted to go to college and I had $40,000 and I give it to you and say, but for this $40,000, they're going to be making payments back to you for the rest of their life. There is no better investment than that. You can't lose. You cannot lose. Because even when the person dies, it's still insured. That's because that's really the bank's money. They're just going through the government guaranteed by you guys. That's how it really all is anyway. Hold on for a quick second. I get some more water. All right. Yes, it was. 2020 was definitely a very insightful year. And thank God I listened to my the feeling inside me back in 2016. Back in 2000, before that, that's when I quit my job. Before that, just to get out of debt. Something woke up inside me, got out of debt. Because I would have been in a situation like the majority of people are. Because if you go on social media, it looks like nobody's having any problems. Everybody's doing all right. Everybody's doing whatever they want to do, vacations, eating out every single day. And you're the only one at home struggling with no money. I'm telling you that they're tricking you. That's a trick. The majority of people just like you. You're probably thinking, how do I know this? Trillions of dollars in student loan debt. That's how I know. Trillions of dollars in auto loan debt, trillions of dollars in credit card debt. That's how I know. Trillions. That's how I know. That means a lot of people are tricking you guys. Believe it or not, right now is the time for you to change that around. Right now, this particular time, because it's the beginning of the new economy. It's the beginning. So right now you can just wake up and say, "Oh, let me just get to zero, whatever I need to do legally, of course, to get to zero." And I always keep stressing legally. You'll understand once you get out of debt. Once you get out of debt, you're like, "Oh, that's why I follow the rules. That's why." The reason why tax evasion penalty for tax evasion is so severe because you don't have to do it. If you just follow the rules, just follow the rules. You don't have to do no tax evasion. Slaves are giving away money. You're gonna break the rules when slaves are giving you money? They're giving you money. You don't have to cheat. I see a few people in here, man. Anybody got some questions? Anybody got any questions? Maybe you don't understand what I'm saying. Hell, maybe you don't even believe what I'm saying. Maybe you want some more clarification. I have no problem doing that because everything I said be justified with mathematics. If you want to live, if you want to live a whole different life, right here, here's the answer right here. What's so funny? Sometimes I be thinking about it, man. It's like you don't know. Now I know it's hard to grasp sometimes, but it's like this. I know this is not a. It's not a maybe. Will your life change? It's not a. I'm taking a risk. No, I can prove it to you. First, you're gonna have to accept that you've been doing it wrong. That's the hardest step right there. You have to accept that credit is just a business. You don't need it. You mean a credit score is nothing? No, not really. They said I need a credit score to do this, that. Who's telling you that? Slaves. If somebody that's telling you need credit and they can't see negative numbers, that's why they're telling you you need credit because they can't see negative numbers. That's why. You don't need none of that. All the psychological part has to be broken first. It's nobody's fault. You got to accept that nobody put you down. Taxes didn't keep you down. The work, the job, higher wages, all this other stuff. All you got to do is just you got to stop thinking like that. That's the psychological part you're gonna have to break. That's gonna be very tough. But hey, if you want to change, if you want to stay the way you stand, you want to keep living paycheck to paycheck, hoping, begging, hoping and praying for student loan debt relief. If you want to continue that, you're gonna be doing that until you're dead. Like you young people that don't have student loan debt, Because I remember when I was turning 18, you got that pressure, like you got to go to college right now. That's what everybody around you says. You go straight to college right after high school. That's not true. Thank God I didn't do that. When I turned 18, you know what I said? I'm gonna get a job. Let me get a job first. That's what I said. Let me get a job. Now I still didn't know about money, but I'm glad I decided to do that first. Because I remember saying to myself, I don't even know what I want to do, but I'm gonna just sign up for school. Yeah, if you saying you don't know what you want to do, don't go. Especially if you ain't got no money. Especially if you plan on doing it with student loan debt. I strongly suggest you don't. I'm not against student loan debt, but I strongly suggest you do it when you do know. Because I didn't go to college till later in life, until I was more like 33. I'm glad I did it because I knew exactly what I was going to school for: computers. There was no mistaking of what I was going to school for. I wasn't in there guessing. Oh, should I take this major? I was like, what classes do I need to take to become this computer engineer? That's exactly what my path was. Did that, still kept my student loans for 10 years. Because why? Because I thought everybody else, that's what everybody else did. You get in there, you're young, you have a direction, get in there. If you need student loans, get them. But as soon as you get done graduating, you don't buy nothing. You pay off the student loans first. You go back home, live with mama. Don't listen to your friends, because but the majority of those people are slaves. Your friends right now that have student loans, come back, ask them 10 years later if they still have them. They're going to say yes. And then you come back to them when they get married and having kids. You see them going on vacation and stuff. You call them up. Hey, what's up? You still paying on your student loans? They're going to tell you yes. You hear you guys in your 30s. Then you guys meet up at the graduation, getting close to 40s. Hey, kids are graduating. You still paying on your student loans? They're going to tell you, yep. Now I ain't got no money to send my kid to college. And guess what you're going to do? Sign up for Parent Plus loans and get even deeper in debt. And then guess what your kids are going to do? Follow what you did. What's the first thing one should do once they get out of debt? For me, especially if I was younger, the first thing I would do is work on buying me a house in cash. Own where I live. That move alone, especially if I plan on staying in a particular area. This is only if you want to stay in an area, right? If I could go back, my only mission as a young person would be to get a place. Even if it's okay to get a mortgage, especially when you're young, all right, that's different when you're fresh out, right? My only mission would be to pay that house off in 5 to 7 years. That would be my only mission. That move alone, that move alone would have made me a millionaire by default. Just that move alone. Not having pay off a house before I'm 30, right? Not have a rent or mortgage again for the rest of my life. That move alone would have made me a millionaire by default. Alone. That move alone would have made me a millionaire by default. That's the first thing I would have did. Because now, once I own my place and I decide to leave, I just sell it and then take that money and buy me a new place wherever I'm moving to. I would always have the money, and I would be portable because I would always have the money to buy wherever I'm going to move. I would always have the money to buy it there. I work for a government agency, and folks swear up and down they are getting their loans forgiven. Yes, they do. That's all part of the plan, Dark Man. All part of the plan. They're not forgiving nothing. They're not forgiving nothing. That's what they believe. But what they don't know is that if you sign up for a program, listen, this is what the real deal is. This is the psychological part slaves don't even see. Anybody that signs up for something that says, hey, if you work for me between 10 to 25 years of your life, we'll forgive your student loans. That alone tells me everything I need to know about that person. Wait a minute, you got $50,000 in student loan debt. Oh, yeah. You don't believe you can pay back $50,000 between 10 and 25 years of your entire life? That's a psychological problem. But they don't know that. When they sign up for that, they don't know that's what they're saying. They don't know that. So they say, yeah, sure. Yeah, we'll forgive them. Yeah, whatever. We don't, they tell them, we don't promise you that. They also tell them, we don't promise that we're going to do it. They tell them that. That's in the paperwork. Nothing's promised. As long as you follow our rules for the next 10 to 25 years of your life, see how the shit's right in your face? It's just right in your face. Say like, here's another thing. Here's another one so you guys can really understand. Say like there's a house that's $300,000, right? You finance $300,000 house for 30 years. Now you got to let's step on the psychological part of it. Out of 30 years of your life, you don't think you're going to make $300,000? And you make it break it down even further. You break up the 300,000 by 30 years. And then whatever that comes out to be per year, you say, you don't think you're going to make that much money per year to pay off this house earlier? That's a psychological problem. I'm not convinced of that. I'm blessed that I've paid down the principal while I had the chance. Hell yeah. They're not doing any of that. They're not forgiving that. They don't know, but you got to remember the majority of slaves that all you got to do is, if you guys think I'm joking, go to many of these finance channels that mention the student loan freeze. They got them all up there. They ain't going to delete them because they don't know to delete them, right? They're going to all tell you this is the chance to take advantage of something because now you have extra money. They call it extra money when you don't have to make payments to your student loan. Now you have extra money to invest or something like that. No, you don't. No, you don't. That's a psychological problem. None of that is true. You don't have extra anything to do anything. Now is the best time to pay heavy on your student loan debt. Now is the time to pay the heaviest. But psychologically, they know you're not going to do it because if you haven't paid your student loan within 20 years of your life, paid it off, do you think they even know? Unconscious slaves can't see negative numbers. Do you think they even know that it's a good time to pay heavy on the student loan debt? They don't even know that. That would make no sense. You could go up to a slave today that's not making student loan payments. You say, hey, right now is the time you should be paying the heaviest. They will have no idea. Do you know what they'll turn to you and say? Why would I do that? I don't have to. Why would I pay on my student loan debt when I don't have to pay on my student loan debt? That's how they'll respond to you because they can't see negative numbers. You go up to a slave and say that, they won't understand what you're saying because they can't see negative numbers. They have no idea that they're not a homeowner with a 30-year mortgage. They don't know that. They don't know you can't buy a house with student loan debt. That's why they created subprime mortgages for slaves that don't know you can't buy houses with student loan debt. How you gonna pay for your kids' college if you haven't even paid for yours? You can't do that. That's why they came up with Parent Plus loans, because you can't do that. Parent Plus loans are for parents that refuse to accept that they have no money to send their kid to college. That's who that's there for. Since you don't believe it, here you go. Here's a Parent Plus loan. Since you don't believe it. And if you got student loans that you haven't paid for yourself and you come and get a Parent Plus loan, they have you for life. And you're signing up for it too. They have you for the rest of your life. Any retirement money you have, any money that you get, it now belongs to them until you're dead. All because you can't see negative numbers. All those types of loans are there for. Loans, period. Oh, they're going to take my income tax return check. Well, yeah, if that's what you think, yeah. Hmm. That's another thing why they don't. That's why most of you right now, you probably noticed that your student loan debt is not on your credit report. Have you guys noticed that? Don't you find that weird? That's so you guys can dig yourself deeper in debt. Because with it off your credit report score is higher. Your debt to income ratio is lower. Now you can be approved for more debt until they put them back on there. And then you guys are going to be in debt deeper than before, all because of yourself. If you're a person attracted to an account because of no overdraft fees, that's because you're a slave. Only slaves go to financial institutions because they don't have overdraft fees. Do you understand, slaves? You don't have to have an overdraft fee. All you got to do is trust math and you won't be overdrafting. Nothing's free. No overdraft fees. That means they're getting money somewhere else. They're not going to do that. They're taking advantage of you not being able to see negative numbers. So you're going to make you pay for it. I mean, it says they took it off my credit report after I paid off, but my credit score dropped 9 points and then another 4 points. Wow, they pulled it off, huh? I gotta go look. I haven't looked at my credit report in so long. I gotta go back and look and see if my student loans are even on there anymore. I don't even know if they're there. I haven't looked at it in so long because there's no reason for me to look at it, right? Anyway, the universe. Yeah, you working on them. Student loans are still on mine. Any questions? Sometimes it's almost like now when I see when I see articles and stuff, right? Okay, I know why they're doing whatever they're doing, right? And it's almost like, not that I'm getting tired of explaining it, but it's just business. You know what I'm saying? It's like these guys that are selling you guys FHA mortgages and stuff like that, they're not doing anything wrong. They're just it's just business. It's nothing more than business. But I just hate to see you guys don't have to get sucked into that, because the majority of them that sell you that stuff, they really believe in it. 9 times out of 10, the people that are selling you guys FHA mortgages, they probably have FHA mortgages themselves. Because they truly believe in them. right? And there's nothing wrong with that, right? But you guys just got to understand what the difference is and who to trust when it comes to money. You cannot trust people that can't see negative numbers because they can't even trust themselves. I strongly suggest that. Do you Darkman says, do you advise to get out of debt before relocating to a new city? I strongly suggest that. I didn't make that move until I was debt free. It makes the move so much simpler, so much it's just so much because you don't have a bunch of businesses to notify when you're leaving because you're not making payments to anybody. The majority of stuff is online, phone bill, everything's online, so I'm not really getting mail, right? The only thing I get physical mail to is electric bill, water bill, because I like to see it. I like to physically see it. I don't do none of that on auto pay. I like to see it. Because I don't like them change, because sometimes they be changing stuff and I just don't like that. And I want to see if I see a drastic change in a bill, and I'll call up and say, hey, what's up with this change? Because you make it automatic, they just take the money automatically. They could go up. You wouldn't know. You just see it disappear from your account. It is what it is. No, no. They just make things so much. Being debt free and making a move, it just makes it so much easier. It just made my move that much simpler. I didn't have to switch over too much stuff. Just be debt. Once you're debt free, it just makes your life easier. You got to remember, with no debt, you have no stress. You sleep better. You get more hours of sleep. You let the slaves that brag on running on 4 hours sleep. Who cares? I don't care if you're running on 4 hours sleep. Good for you. Sleep is for suckers. I guess I'm a sucker then, because I sleep all the time. I love sleep. Love it. Sleep more, you eat less. It's like an automatic. You ain't up trying to, like, when you're trying to force yourself, you're consuming stuff, consuming sugar, drinking coffee, doing all this stuff to fight sleep. When you don't fight it, you're not consuming all that garbage because you're not fighting it. So you don't need it anymore. People drinking cups and cups and cups of coffee just to stay awake and blah. None of that. Nope. Basically telling your body to shut up. Hey, I know you want to go to sleep, but shut up. To one day your body's gonna be like, oh, okay, all right, you just ain't listening. Okay, well, all right. Let's see how a kidney failure slow you down. Let's try that. Shut that shit down. Oh shit, what's wrong with my liver? What you gonna say? Hey, shut up, liver. I'm too busy. Shut both your kidneys down. Shut up, kidneys. Oh, now you're on dialysis, laying in a bed. No, sir. Ain't none of that. Like I said earlier, when you value the time in your life, you listen to your body. You listen to it. Every time something weird happens to me, I listen. Oh, why is my body telling me that? Okay, and then I look back. What am I doing different? Oh, I'm starting to eat more crappy food. Okay, I better stop doing that. I don't just tell it to shut up because I needed to walk around on Earth. I had a job offer out of Charleston, but it didn't make sense because the expenses was going to set me back in paying off expense. Right. They know people are desperate now, though. Like right now, you see all the jobs that are available everywhere. Why do you think that is? Because they're sitting on that free money. As soon as that money stops, all the jobs are going to be taken. Right now, everywhere you go, there's job. Hey, well, job available, job available. Yeah, until that money runs out, then people are gonna take what they can get, and then that's when they're gonna pay you what they want. These jobs nowadays that are coming up, man, no benefits, no full-time hours. They're you know how much money they save not paying retirement and insurance benefits and all this responsibility and your taxes. You know how much money these big businesses are saving not having to worry about that? They're saving big money. They don't have to know, especially with these jobs with delivery jobs now, man. They're going to be taking full advantage of slaves. Full advantage of slaves. You guys are going to be taking these jobs, not paying your taxes because you guys are already in debt and you already think taxes are the reason why you can't get ahead. And guess what you guys are going to do? You guys are going to start start not paying your taxes. Then you're going to get used to not paying your taxes. Then you're going to adjust your lifestyle according to not paying taxes. They just don't like when you switch over from a 1040 to a what's the 1099. That's a transition. That would be horrible for them just to jump all over you if you're trying to switch out of a W-2 and the 10. They give you about 3 or 4 years to get your shit straight. They give you about to make this transition. They give you about good 3 or 4 years. That's either enough to straighten your shit out or dig yourself so deep you can't get out. Because you can't stop working a regular job. Say like you found something that you can be successful at in your own business, and so you jump over and start. All of a sudden, you're instant success, and you start making all this money. And then all of a sudden, instead of figuring out the tax portion, you start buying houses and cars and stuff like that for about a good 3 or 4 straight years. And then all of a sudden, the IRS comes knocking on your door and like, "Hey, did you forget about us?" You can't say, "Oh, I didn't know." What do you mean? How do you think we found this big house? You got a 5-car garage right there with 5 cars in them. And you said you don't realize you got to pay taxes? I don't get it. You can't say that. But when you're in a negative, when you can't see negative numbers, you don't know that. That's how they get you. By you. You tell them because you can't see negative numbers. Or say like you take your taxes to a tax preparer, right? And I'm gonna give you guys some red flag signs so you guys can understand. You go to a tax preparer, and all of a sudden the tax preparer says, "Hey, man, you can claim this and get this back," and what they're claiming doesn't exist. That's a red flag because if they're telling you to do it, that means they do it themselves. You got to say, wait a minute. Why would I claim something that don't exist? See what their response is. You say to them, why would I claim something that doesn't exist? Oh, shout out to Wayne Omega. Thank you, sir. How'd you like it? Is it good? How's it feel? Appreciate that though. Thank you for your support. Does it fit okay? Have you wore it out yet? I wanna know. There is, like I said, there is the so because some people are lazy. So let me post it in the link here. I mean, post it in the chat. So some people don't want to do that. Here's the link to the shirts. I haven't put it on yet. Okay, save it for. Okay, cool. All right. Let me know how it fits. Shout out to NYC. Hey, Uncle, for $4.99 super chat. Hey, Uncle LJ. You ever seen the movie Repo Man? Repo Men with Forrest Whitaker? Something to think about. I think I have. I think it's because I think I saw it a long time ago, but it seemed like it would be a good movie to rewatch. Because I like watching movies now that I'm out of the debt matrix. I like watching movies like that now because they kind of tell you a lot of stuff that people in debt would never know because they can't see negative numbers. So I might check that out. Repo Man. Cool. Got it last night. Okay. If you can, here's my email, man. If you can send me a picture of you in it, appreciate it. There's my email. I mean, you don't have to put your face in it if you don't want to. You could just take a picture of it across your chest, whatever, right? Just show other people that other people wearing them and stuff like that. I think it's cool. All right, I put the link in there if you guys want to purchase one yourself. I put it in the chat area. Here is my Cash App. I always forget to give that. Apologize every time you guys ask me that, every single time. I'm gonna make it next time. I'm gonna set up everything to run down below, like most I see other people doing it. Other podcasters do it. Have everything scrolling along the bottom so everybody can see it at one time. Any questions? I see dead people. If you don't know how much debt you're in, we see you. We're talking about you. If you don't know how much debt you're in today, down to the last dollar, I'm talking to you. Especially if you're out in business like right now. If you've been out doing business, and you probably don't come across these type of people too much, but I guarantee you, most of you probably have, but you probably didn't understand why the deal didn't go through. It seemed like it was going so good, everything was flowing or something. Then all of a sudden the person just stopped. They probably found out you couldn't see negative numbers and saw some kind of flaw in your thing, or what you maybe you were trying to fluff up some numbers or something, because you guys don't know that you do that. Right? You don't know. And when I say don't, you'll add, when I say fluff up numbers, I mean you probably add in equity of a house you don't own. You probably have a car that you're making payments on, but you have a certain amount of equity. Who knows what you guys do? You guys like to puff up stuff because you think you own something that you're making payments on, but you don't know that. And then you submit this to the friend or the partner, not friend, but the business partner or whatever you're trying to do, right? And they see all those fluffed up things, and all of a sudden the deal just like, no, thank you. Adding up like your net worth, and you adding up things that you don't own inside your net worth. You don't know, you guys don't know, you guys don't know that you do that. Because you believe everybody around you, all the other slaves, they do the same thing you do too, adding in the equity of things that you don't own into your personal financial portfolio, and you think it's your net worth when it's not. Anyway, now you guys know what it means to be seeing dead people. One thing I love about, and I always say this too before I end this thing. One thing I love about this is like the shirts, the SMD shirts. This will give you guys an insight of what it's like to live in the psychological part of the financial world, because that's what seeing negative numbers allows you to do. Really, it's this, to view the psychological part of the world economy, the U.S. economy, whatever. As long as it's capitalist, it doesn't matter. It's all the same, right? This will give, because when you wear these shirts, people won't really understand the statements that are on the shirts. You're going to have to explain what the statements mean, because they can't see negative numbers, so they don't know what the statements mean. Which I also love, because if they don't know what they mean, unconscious slaves can't have an opinion about it. Right? If they look at the statement on the shirt, they don't know what that means. Because if say like I was wearing a shirt and it says, "I see debt people," right? Well, they believe debt is part of life, but even when they read that shirt, they still don't think it applies to them, because they have a big house, they have a nice car, all of that they're making payments on, but they don't realize it's not theirs. So when they see that statement, "I see debt people," they're going to be like, "That's not me, because look at my house. Look at the car I'm driving. That's definitely not me. Look at my clothes." So they're going to look at the statements, being puzzled. What's that mean? Now, when like I have a shirt that says the ability to see negative numbers. I can't wait till it get here, because I can't wait till somebody asks me something about that. Because this is exactly, and I always say this earlier. I said this earlier. This is exactly when I'm wearing that shirt that says the ability to see negative numbers, and somebody finally asks me that, I'm gonna say, "Are you a homeowner?" They're probably gonna say yes. Then I'm gonna say, "Open up your calculator app on your phone. I want you to put in your mortgage payment." And I'm gonna be staring at. I'm not gonna even look at the numbers. I'm gonna let them take the calculator to themselves, because I don't need to see it. I'm gonna say, "Put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance and hit equal." And then I'm gonna tell them to look at, while looking at their calculator, I want them to listen to my voice. And I'm gonna say, "The reason why you believe you're a homeowner is because you can't see negative numbers." And then they're gonna look at the shirt again, and then they're gonna see the ability to see negative numbers. Hopefully they'll make a connection. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, but they'll walk away thinking, because I guarantee you this: nobody on in their entire life will have ever told them that. Never in their entire life will they have ever seen statements like that on a t-shirt. They will have never seen anything like that ever. They're going to look at these statements and never have seen them before, ever. They're nowhere. I'm the first one doing it. When I first started, I had to figure out how to remove anything that they could have an opinion on. Because if you say they don't trust math, they'll say, "Oh, yes, I do. Yes, that's an opinion." But when I show them on a calculator about negative numbers, they can't have an opinion. Some will, some still will. Anyway, it's time to wrap this up, man. Shit, my mouth is dry as I don't know what. Dry as I don't know what. All right, you guys have a wonderful Friday afternoon. Hope you guys are enjoying wherever you're at today. Hope you guys listened to this broadcast closely. Hope you guys learned from something. But again, if you need my help, SavingsMinusDebt.com, I can show you the way. Right? If you learn from my videos, I appreciate that too. I love it when I hear you guys binge watch my videos. That's just like that's a humbling feeling to hear somebody saying they binge, because think about it. They binge watch Netflix People binge watch Amazon Prime. You know what I'm saying? But people say, I binge watch your videos, LJ. I binge watch them. We say, Sal's saying like that. I want to do a hamster wheel on a t-shirt for slaves. Okay, like what do you mean, like a hamster wheel alone or a hamster wheel with a rat in it? You know what I'm saying? What do you mean by the hamster wheel? You know what I'm saying? And I kind of get your idea where you're going. Slaves on a hamster wheel. Is the I don't know. I gotta think about that. Put a mouse in the middle of it. Two rats. Okay, why two rats? A positive and negative rat or something? What do you mean? Why two rats in one wheel? Two rats in one wheel. You gotta tell me the significance of the reason for that. I don't know. These shirt ideas, you guys, they're endless. I mean, two rats or two sheep. Those would be equal to slaves. Yeah. Sheeple. And I was thinking about instead of using the word slave, I was thinking about using the word sheeple. It's spelled sheeple, like not EEP, right? SHEOPLE. It's like the word people, take off the P, put on the SH. Sheeple, right? Because I see people spell it the other way, like the word sheep, but I think it has more meaning spelled like that, right? Sheeple. Because sheeple, when it's so weird. See how see how I put, if you put SHEEP, the people know that you're calling us a sheep, right? But if you say sheeple and spell it this way, it resonates more with the you know what I'm saying? It's different. Yeah, I'm gonna use sheeple. I've been thinking about that for a while. That's pretty close to not using the word slave. They both begin with S. It's close enough without people calling somebody a slave, right? It's just a sheeple. Sheeple don't mean it doesn't mean it's a specific color or you're talking about a particular race. It's just sheeple, right? I always find things that remove the opinions of slaves. You got to remove it. No, can't do that. That still got slave in it, man. Sorry. When a slave asks who is or what's a sheep, well, my response, that's you people with mortgages, of finance payments, and finance phone. Yeah. I might just put sheeple alone on the shirt. Let me write that down real quick here. I always put things on my board. If I don't, I will forget. Sheeple. All right. Hmm. He says, once you get to that level, LJ, we can't use our SMD link. No, you got to remember they can. I know it seems like that. You would think that the bigger SMD got, more people would know, but you got to remember it's a different language. People in debt don't know. They don't know that they're slaves. That's one of the hard crossovers that you got to have to do. It's a psychological thing. The majority of slaves believe debt is part of life. If they believe debt is part of life, that means they will never understand the language of debt free, the language of zero. They will never understand it. They will never, and no, put it this way. They'll never, if they believe debt is part of life, they will never, ever be able to see negative numbers, ever. And if they can't see negative numbers, that automatically by default says they can't speak the language of debt free and blah, blah, blah. And it just goes on and on and on, right? You can't, like, if you look at the bigger picture with looking through negative numbers, you will clearly see that the stock market doesn't exist, car loan places, they don't exist, credit card companies, all the stocks and bonds and all the stuff the slaves invest in, you will clearly see none of that exists. It's only there because they can't see negative numbers. That's why it's there. Cryptocurrency, credit, all of it. That's why it's there, because they can't see negative numbers. If they knew that, everything would collapse, but that cannot happen. I don't even want that to happen. I would tell them, shun using debt. Nah, man, slave. Slave. No, I still got slave in there. I gotta take out slave. It gotta be sheeple. Gotta be sheeple. I'm not getting any SMD family members in fights. I don't want no SMD family members in, because you gotta remember the word slave has a negative connotation as on TV. Now, do you really want to get stuck talking to somebody? You're not talking about the slave on TV. Sheeple, you won't have that problem with sheeple. Yeah, exactly. Sleeple. Ooh, I like that. Huh, let me see. What about this? Let's go like this. Sleep. What about that? What about sleeple? Sleeple? Nah, sheeple. Sheeple's still good. Sleeple. People sleep. Sleeple. Coming up with a whole damn language. Sleeple. Like sleeping. Yeah, I like sheeple. I like sheeple. But we came up with sheeple, but we spell it SHEOPLE. That's good. That has more of a connection with people. See, like if you spell it like sheep, they'll disassociate with themselves and think of a sheep. But if you say sheeple, they will know you're talking about sheep, but you're talking about people. All right, you guys, I'm out of here. I'm trying to get off of here. And appreciate everybody. Thank you for joining. Much appreciated. Until next time, let me know about that shirt, Wayne. You got my email? SavingsMinusDebt.com. I mean, SavingsMinusDebt at gmail.com. Excuse me. SavingsMinusDebt at gmail.com. That's the email. You guys have a good evening.